Welcome to Bellavere Reformatory Academy, a realm where Madame Eloise reigns, turning dominance and submission into power. Behind these doors lies a sanctuary of fantasy, transformation, self-discovery, and the allure of FLR, female-led relationship. Please note this is for educational purposes only. All scenarios are fictional. All characters depicted are above the age of 18. Even the mere presence of the cane commands respect and evokes a sense of accountability, its silent authority often more potent than its physical application. The ladies shift nervously, some clutching their bags while others glance skeptically at their surroundings. At the center of the room stands a commanding podium, where Madame Eloise, Headmistress, the embodiment of poise and control, steps forward to the podium. Madame Eloise surveys the group of new arrivals. Her salt and pepper hair is swept up perfectly, and her piercing blue eyes scan the room with a quiet but unmistakable authority. She wears a Victorian-style long blue dress, her gloved hands resting lightly on a long, slender stick. The new arrivals, dubbed iron butterflies in the Academy's tradition, are visibly unsettled. Some are eager, others skeptical, but all feel the weight of her presence. In a calm, authoritative voice, her tone cutting through the murmurs like a blade.
Iron butterflies, you have arrived here not to escape your lives, but to transform them. What you learn in these walls will challenge everything you believe about yourself, and if you're brave enough, it will set you free. You have not stumbled here by chance, nor have you been sent by accident. This is a privilege, one afforded only to those deemed capable of greatness, whether as a dominant or as a submissive.
Madame Eloise pauses, her piercing gaze settling on Claire Hathaway, who stands near the back, arms crossed and an eyebrow raised.
And yes, Miss Hathaway, you may lower that brow before it falls permanently out of place. Sarcasm has no place in these halls. You will soon learn that defiance, while amusing, is swiftly disciplined.
The iron butterflies exchange looks half terrified, half impressed. Claire straightens slightly but says nothing. After the speech, the women are escorted to their rooms. Each student is assigned to either the dominant wing or the submissive wing based on Madame Eloise's initial assessments.
Claire, whispering with a smirk. Iron butterflies? Sounds like a name for a punk rock band. Next, they'll have us saluting Madame Eloise like she's a drill sergeant.
Claire's reckoning. The corridors of the House of Bellavere are cold and silent, their polished wooden floors gleaming in the flickering light of gas lamps. The air feels heavy, laden with the weight of rules broken and authority about to be asserted. Miss Hathaway, your continued insolence has earned you an audience with Madame Eloise. Follow me.
Claire Hathaway, rebellious and defiant, walks reluctantly behind Miss Ashcroft, her assigned governess, who exudes an air of unshakable composure. Miss Ashcroft, dressed impeccably in a high-necked Victorian gown, carries a leather-bound journal of infractions tucked under her arm.
Claire's heart pounds, but she maintains a facade of indifference, her arms crossed and her chin tilted upward in mock defiance. She knows what's coming but refuses to let fear show. The offense earlier that afternoon, Claire had disrupted the group's orientation, mocking Madame Eloise's authority. She rolled her eyes and muttered under her breath, a direct challenge to authority. The journey, as we walk toward Madame Eloise's office. Claire glances at the towering windows, their heavy drapes framing a grey, overcast sky. Claire's impending judgment looming.
So is this where you march all the troublemakers? What's next? Solitary confinement?
This is the moment where we distinguish those committed to dominance from those who cling to submission. Madame Eloise will reveal exactly where you stand. Madame Eloise, Miss Hathaway's behavior during the orientation was less than exemplary.
Thank you, Miss Ashcroft. You may leave us. Miss Hathaway, do you believe yourself above the rules of this institution?
I think some of the rules are outdated.
Madame Eloise's lips curl into a faint, humorless smile as she moves around the desk, the cane tapping lightly against her palm.
Outdated? Is that what you call discipline and refinement? Very well. Since you refuse to learn from instruction, perhaps you will learn from consequences. Let me make one thing strikingly clear. Discipline is not a punishment. It is a gift. Take your place, Miss Hathaway.
Claire hesitates, but something in Madame Eloise's tone leaves no room for argument. Slowly, she moves to the chair, gripping its sides as she lowers herself into position. Madame Eloise walks behind her, the cane swishing softly through the air as she tests its weight.
You will receive 6 strokes, each a reminder of the discipline you so sorely lack. You will count them aloud, and after each, you will repeat. Leadership without discipline is chaos. Do you understand?
Yes, Madame Eloise.
Louder, Miss Hathaway. Do not ever make me repeat myself.
Yes, Madame Eloise.
The first stroke lands with a swift, precise snap, the sound cutting through the silence. Claire gasps, her fingers digging into the chair.
Through gritted teeth. 1. Leadership without discipline is chaos.
I pause, allowing the lesson to sink in before delivering the second stroke. Each one is deliberate, neither rushed nor overly harsh, but enough to leave a lasting impression on Miss Hathaway. By the 6th stroke, Claire's voice is steady but subdued, her defiance replaced with a quiet resolve.
Leadership without discipline is chaos.
Madame Eloise sets the cane aside, moving to stand in front of Claire. She tilts Claire's chin upward, forcing their eyes to meet.
Do you understand why this was necessary?
Claire nods, her usual sharp wit replaced by introspection.
Yes, Madame Eloise.
Good. Now return to your quarters and reflect on today's lesson. I expect a written apology on my desk by morning. Claire rises slowly, her steps measured as she exits the office. For the first time, the fire in her eyes is tempered by humility.
Back in her room, Claire sits at her desk, staring at the blank page before her. The sting of discipline still lingers, but so does the realization that Madame Eloise's words and actions were not without purpose. For the first time, Claire begins to see the House of Bellavere not as a reformatory, but as an opportunity for transformation.
The cane, a symbol of authority and elegance from the Victorian era, embodying power, precision, and purpose. The cane doesn't just demand respect, its mere presence radiates accountability.